I'm Rachel from 7 and All, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing a kind of big life change that we have going on with all of you. We are moving! Our new home sweet home. We've got some work to do. And it's gonna be the first time I've moved in a really long time, so I'm kind of feeling like I'm really out of practice and don't exactly know how to do this. Now, if you've been following my channel, if you know my family, you know that me and my husband, we live in Southeast Asia with our 2 little boys, and we have lived in an apartment. We live in an apartment. We've lived in this exact apartment, same apartment building for over 6 years now. And we are actually in the same apartment building as my parents. So they live on the ground floor in an apartment, and we're able to just walk to my parents' house every day. I see them almost every day. I teach classes with my sisters for foreign language, Chinese, or for English, and I read stories with them. I've been very involved in their day-to-day life for a long time simply because we've lived so close to them. And now we're moving. But before you get the wrong idea, I do want to say we're not making a huge move as people would consider a huge move. Our new place is going to be about less than 2 kilometers away, so it's still technically walking distance from where we live right now. It's a little bit of a long walk for toddlers. I think, you know, if you're taking your time or so, it will probably be about a half-hour walk. But we are moving from an apartment into a house. It's a duplex house, so it has its own little kind of yard space. It's not really a yard as Americans would think of as a yard. It does have a patch of grass, maybe about the same size as roughly a twin bed. So we will have grass. We will have our own little cement area outside. It's got kind of walls around it. That is typically how houses are here. They don't have necessarily big yards or anything, but they're typically all have walls around them, and then at least some outdoor space, if any outdoor space, maybe some cemented space and a little bit of grass. But this is going to be a huge difference for us, going from living in an apartment for over 6 years now to now actually living in a house. And it's definitely going to come with a lot of changes. And I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the changes. This came up fairly suddenly. We basically saw the house. We saw the sign on it that said it was for rent. My husband said, hey, I'll just call and see how much the rent is. And he called, and the rent was higher than what we can pay with the rental allowance that he gets from his work. And he said, well, this is my rental allowance. And she said, well, I'm flexible, but I'm picky with my renters. And so she wanted a family to be renting the home, not people who are going to use the home for a business or have like multiple different people from different, like a bunch of different single people living in the house. She wanted a more family dynamic living in her house. And well, we're a family. But we went in to look at the house, and it's huge compared to where we live now. It's got a lot more space. It's got outdoor space. It's got an outdoor kitchen. It has a balcony for where you can hang up your laundry to dry outside, so you're not drying your laundry inside the house, as you have seen me do many, many times. So there was a lot about it that really kind of caught our attention, because what we have noticed during life in lockdown with little boys is that they kind of start bouncing off the walls at some point. When you have very high energy toddlers and little kids, they need a little bit of space. And there was definitely something about this house that called to my heart, like, there's space. They could spend more time outdoors. It's right across the street from a park. So that caught my attention. It's a very much older house, so that was also a consideration. The apartment we lived in was renovated right before we moved in 6 years ago, so we're kind of used to living in a very modern space. And now this is a much, much older house, and you can tell it, you know, where can you always tell the age of a house? You can tell it for sure in the bathrooms, in the lighting, in the kitchen. You can tell that things are a good bit older. I don't know exactly how old it is, maybe 40 or so years old. So it's not like a super old house, but it is definitely an older house, and it's got its personalities and quirks that we're gonna have to learn to live with and get more used to again. But I wanted to share this with you guys because you're gonna notice I'm no longer gonna have this thrilling background of a chest of drawers and my clothes hanging up and the bathroom door. You're gonna have to get used to a new background. You'll see some differences in our daily lives because it is going to impact our routines and our daily lives now that we're not living in the same apartment building as my parents. Now that we're living in a bigger house, I'm going to have more housework to do for sure. I'll spend more time sweeping and mopping because there's more floor space. It's a little bit intimidating to think about how to juggle all the transition right now of cleaning up this home, leaving it in really good condition as we leave, going to that home, cleaning everything because it's very filthy right now. Houses here, are very open to the elements. If they haven't been lived in for a while, they just get dirty. So we were actually there last night just cleaning, wiping, cleaning every surface, mopping everything. So cleaning the new house, cleaning the old house, packing things, unpacking things, figuring out where everything goes, figuring out how to make the most of this new kind of very large amount of space to me after we've been very I like the minimal space we have. We tend to be a minimalist family. I have no intention of getting a whole lot more stuff and furniture to fill up the larger amount of space, but I still want to organize it in such a way that it can be very effective for our family and we can make more use of it. I'm getting excited about things like my kids are going to be able to play with sidewalk chalk outside and like draw on cement, and we have our own cement for them to draw on. And we've been thinking about getting Cyrus a real bike instead of glider bike because he's getting to that point, but I didn't want to have a real bike that we had to store inside our house. We're going to be able to have a bike for him and have space for him to ride around on the cement inside, or just go right out to the street and ride it, and I won't have to have a bike in my living room. So I'm very excited. It will definitely be emotional to leave the apartment where we've spent so much of our lives, where we've spent more than half of our marriage here. It will be a big change. It will be a new chapter. I do plan to do a little bit of vlogging of the work process involved in the move for those who are interested in that. And for better or worse, if you keep watching this channel, you will be seeing glimpses of our new house and glimpses of how this changes our daily routines in coming videos. The new house has an outdoor kitchen, so now I'm gonna get to cook outside instead of cooking in the house, which those are nice because in this hot climate, then you're not getting all the steam and all the smells inside your little house. So there's going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be some new things we have to learn to live with, but I'm excited, and I did, because you guys have followed our journey all this time so far, I did want to let you in and tell you about the big change that we're making. All right, I'll see you next time, maybe somewhere else.